Shalom, this is Kabash Ben Yasharala, and before I hop to today's lesson, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to the Most High in the name of His Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, in the true pillar Hebrew tongue. Ka Halayim La Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Ha Rakah Quadash Ma'amath. I want to give a double honor to the apostles and elders of GMS who rule well and teach well. I want to give a double honor to my elder as well, Aaron Wamban Yasharala, the Lions Den camp here in Jacksonville, Florida. And I want to say shalom to the Akim around the four corners of the globe, pushing this truth and sincerity. With that being said, this lesson is going into the topic of staying separate from this world. And with that being said, it's pretty self-explanatory, so I can go ahead and get to it. My first precept being Deuteronomy 7:6, which says, "For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh thy power. Yahweh thy power have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all the people that are upon the face of the earth." So the Lord called the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, along with speckled birds around the four corners of the globe, who may look like these other nations, but they bear the same spirit. Their seed goes back to the bloodline, the lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Those are the Lord's holy people. And the word holy just means separate. So the Lord chose us to be separate from these other nations, above all the other nations on this earth. He gave us His laws, statutes, commandments to separate us from these nations. And then by being the Lord's holy people, we're to remain holy, as in separate from this world. So we can't indulge in the things of this world, whether it be the lust, envy, greed, rage. We can't partake in the politics. We can't trust in this society. We're trusting Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. But we can't fall for the philosophies, the religions, and all that stuff. That's for those of this world. Us being of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, His special people, we're to abide by the ways He chose for us to abide by, the ways of righteousness. And it's that simply put, Deuteronomy 7:6 again, "For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh thy power. Yahweh thy power have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all the people that are upon the face of the earth." So as long as we abide in the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, we're holy, we're special unto Him. Because 2/3 of our people have been cut off from Him. They're of this world. So they're not special to Him anymore. They are, but they have to be cleansed on this side. I'll say it like that. He's going to judge them according to His wrath and indignation, versus those following the path paid for us by Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. They're going to receive His grace and mercy. And that's what we want to receive. Ultimately, it being that salvation. Being saved from this place. The judgment that this place has coming. But we have to move according to the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Putting in the work to show forth our faith in Him. Second Corinthians 11:2. "For I am jealous over you with godly jealousy, for I have espoused you to one husband, that I may present you as chaste virgins unto Hamashiach." So the Lord is jealous over us with godly jealousy. He has every right to be jealous over us. He built us up as a nation. He called and chose us, especially in these times. He brought us into remembrance of who we are. So we can't be dipping and dabbing with the word. That's like you having a woman, and instead of her being 100% loyal to you, she going off with some other man and this, that, and the third. You know, going behind your back. She don't trust in you all the way to provide or whatever the case may be. We have to trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai 100%. We got to be all in for the Lord. The head of man is Yahweh Shai. And that's our husband, so to speak. So we're to follow Him. Because He leading us to the grace and mercy that we're seeking to obtain. He's leading us to salvation. He's going to lead us back to Yahweh. And we want to be presented as chaste virgins to Yahweh Shai when He returns. And the word virgin just means to abstain from all Spiritual wickedness and whoredoms, something to that effect. But spiritual wickedness and whoredoms. I know it says spiritual wickedness. I really should have got it, but you know, we're to be chaste virgins, undefiled. And how do we defile ourselves in this place? Through the witchcraft, the voodoo and all those things, through the politics, through the philosophies, the religion, so on and so forth. There's so many things we can defile ourselves with out here. But we have to stay separate from these things. We have to stay separate from the lust and desires of the flesh, our mortal thoughts. We have to stay spiritually minded, spiritually focused, striving according to the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, to keep our garments clean. And yeah, our righteousness is as filthy rags, but the Lord's calling us and cleansing us through the Spirit. That's what He's focusing on. So that's what we're to focus on. We can't get caught up in the things of this world. The temptations and everything else they try to bring upon us to cause us to lose focus on the Lord. John 17:14. I have given them thy word, and the world have hated them, because they are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. I pray not that thou shouldest take them out of the world, but that thou shouldest keep them from the evil. This Yahweh Shai praying over the elect, that remnant that the cluster of grace that the Lord kept to Himself. And He's saying He gave us the word, and the world hated us because of it. Because this gospel, you know, you speak the gospel and the prophecies and all these things to somebody of the world. You shine that light on them. They hate the light of the Lord. So in turn, they're going to hate you for being that vessel of righteousness. Regardless if you're rebuking them, just telling them about the faith, or whatever the case may be. But ultimately, they hate us because we're of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. We stand for righteousness in a world full of wickedness. We don't fit into this place. But rather than just taking us out the way, Yahweh Shai prayed that we be kept from the evil, so that we can be presented to Him as chaste virgins, so that we can be the Lord's holy people. And we have to overcome the evils of this place to be seen worthy of the inheritance that Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai has in store for us. So we have to endure things in this place. Yeah, we're vexed by the conversation of the wicked. We waiting on salvation, but we don't succumb to wickedness. We gotta show ourselves that's why we're here. This is the proving grounds. We're proving ourselves worthy to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai by overcoming the evils of this place, the wickedness, the darkness. Not only are we overcoming this world, but we're overcoming our flesh, ourselves. Because your mind will cause you to move contrary to the Spirit of the Lord. You know, you'll see a woman you want her so bad that you lose sight of anything else. We can't lose sight of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. We're to desire Him more than anything, including these women out here. John 17:16. They are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. Sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is truth. So we're sanctified through the word of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. We're made separate from this place through the word of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. His wisdom, knowledge, understanding. His correction. The path that He paid for us in general. Our inheritance. I'll say our heritage. Keeping the holy days, the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability. Things like that. That's what makes us sanctified. That's what separates us. And if we're followers of Yahweh Shai, we're not of this world. And again, this world hates us for that. You got to think, they hated Yahweh Shai. They hung Him from a cross, crucified Him. And so they have the same feelings that they had towards Him to us today. But we're not to seek the love of this world. We don't trim our ways seeking love. We shine the light of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai bright all day, every day. Because when it's all said and done, the Lord gonna justify and glorify us. We have to keep our garments clean until then. Stay spiritually separate from this world. That's what we're tasked with doing. The whole duty of man is to fear God and keep his commandments. But the 2/3 of our people don't want to do that. They rather serve themselves, serve the flesh. Serve this world. Seek after the things of this world, I'll say. But Isaiah 52:1, awake, awake, put on thy strength, O Zion. Put on thy beautiful garments, O Jerusalem, the holy city. For henceforth there shall no more come in to thee the uncircumcised and the unclean. Shake thyself in the dust. Arise and sit down, O Jerusalem. Loose thyself in the bands of thy neck, O captive daughter of Zion. So that's why we go out on the highways and byways to preach the gospel of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, to find the Lord's lost sheep, so they can be sanctified through the word as we were sanctified through the word, and we were made separate from this world. You know, that's what the Lord called us to do: feed his sheep, find his lost sheep. He made his disciples fishers of men, and we following Yahushai, we're being made fishers of men too. And we're leading our people back to the sheepfold of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And this is our call. Awake, awake, put on thy strength, O Zion. Put on thy beautiful garments. Put on the covering of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Take off these worldly garments, which are nothing but filth, corruption, pollution, mortality. Because in real life, these people still running around out here naked. They're not covered. If you're not covered by the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, you're running around naked without protection. Because the Lord said he's not dealing with the uncircumcised and the unclean anymore. Meaning those, the uncircumcised meaning those who don't know they're Israelites, and the unclean meaning those who dipping and dabbing with these with the things of this world, whether it be the religions, philosophies, just serving the flesh, so on and so forth. The lust and the, the Lord's not dealing with that. He's only dealing with that cluster of grapes that he reserved for himself, being the elect in that 1/3 remnant of Israel. And for us to be a part of that number, we have to remain in the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Keep that garment upon us, that beautiful garment. We have to shake ourselves from the dust of this place. We gotta get all the dust of Babylon up off of us. All the dust and the filth of this world, we gotta shake ourselves clean of that. That's how we're made separate. And we couldn't do that without the word of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, without his instruction, without his standards, his law, statutes, commandments. He showed the way, the true way of righteousness unto us. And we'd be foolish not to follow that or to forsake that path. Because in doing so, we're freeing ourselves from the captivity of this place spiritually. Yahushua is going to return and do it physically, but we have that sense of freedom through the spirit, knowing that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is with us, knowing that in a world full of wickedness, we're striving according to righteousness, knowing that the Lord hid himself from the world but chose to reveal himself to us. These are liberating thoughts. As long as we stay in the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, this will keep us motivated to endure to the end. Micah 2:10, arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction. We have to separate from this place mentally. And the more we separate from this place, the closer we get to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. The more of that true rest we obtain, that comfort. Because this is our comfort and our hope. The word of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. The 2/3 of our people are trusting in the pollution and the corruption of this place. And that's leading them to destruction. Our people are already in a destroyed state because they lack the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. But they're destroying themselves physically by transgressing against Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. They continually break the laws. They continually do this, that, and the third. And the wages of sin are death. And that's the path that our people chose to walk down. They're not separating from this place. They're cleaving to this place. They refuse to separate from it. Versus us, we're made clean through the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. We're being led to salvation. We're being cleansed again. And that's the key point, man. The Lord said he's not dealing with the uncircumcised and the unclean. The Lord is cleansing us. We do our work on our side, but the Lord is dealing with us as sons. He chastises and scourges us. And, that's not fun. The scripture said that too. No chastisement seems to be, it's not a fun time. But it benefits us in the end. And that's what we want. We want the Lord to deal with us as sons, not as bastard children, letting us run around and do what we want. No, the Lord's leading us straight way back to him. But we got to stay focused on him to obtain that. We got to stay separate from this world. It's a scripture that says a dog returns to his own vomit. I should have got that one, but that just means you cast out that filth from you, how the Lord is cleansing us, but you chose to go back and get dirty again. You ran back to that same stuff that had you in that destroyed state to begin with. And we can't do that. We can't turn back. No man putting his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom. Remember Lot's wife. We got to stay separate from this world. Because this place has destruction coming. We got to flee how Lot said, how Lot fled from Sodom and Gomorrah. Not looking back. Ain't nothing back there for you but death and destruction. And we know the judgments and the plagues and everything else that the Lord brings to this place. We want to be protected from that. So in doing so, we should be serving the Lord with all our heart, all our mind, all our energy, giving everything we have to the Lord. But Yahweh Rock this lesson was edifying. And until the next time, I'm going to say shalom.